Howdy, everybody. Big Anklevich here, podcaster, author, and carnivore. And, well, this is a very special episode of Big Anklevich on health. Yeah, today is the midpoint. Yesterday was the 15th, so we're at the midpoint of the month. And I figured we'd do a little check-in, see how we're doing, how is it going, a little report. How is everything shaping up for us carnivore challengers? Is it going well? So let's take a look. At the start of this month, where was I? At the start of this month, I weighed 238.4. And that was a kind of a disappointing weight because I had been doing better in early March. And then at the end of March, I fell apart. And I ate a whole bunch of cheese and I gained some weight and I finished off at 238, which still was a lot better than I had started March, but it's not where I should have been. So I, renewed my vows to stick to the diet. I did a really poor job of sticking to the lion diet back in March, but in April, I swore that I would do it, I would do well, I would stick to it. In fact, I was going to only have ground beef, and that was it. Which I wondered, was that a good idea? And then smart to make it even more hard? Turns out that it probably was. So that was 238.4. And this morning, I weighed myself 223.6. Now that's pretty good, right? That's basically 2 weeks, and I have come down 14.8 pounds. That is among the highest weight losses in that short of a time period that I've ever had. And I used to be really fat, so I had a lot to lose, and it came off really quick. Now I'm much less so, but I was still able to take it off really quick, which is exciting. However, let's look at this from the midpoint of March. The day that we started this, I weighed myself and I weighed 250.2. Today, this morning, when I woke up, I weighed 237.8. So I went from 250.2 down to 237.8. That's 12.4 pounds. So there you go. I lost 12 pounds by the midpoint of March. So I was trying to do the lion diet back then, and I think I was doing pretty good the first 2 weeks. It wasn't until later in the month when I fell apart. In fact, I have the receipts. I can pull it up. I weigh myself every day and put it into a spreadsheet. So if you look here, 237.8 is what I weighed at the midpoint of March. And you can see I went down a little bit still, then I came back up. And then I went down a little bit, and then I came back up. And then I went down a little bit, and then I came back all the way back up. And I finished the month out a little worse than I had been at the midpoint. So I actually lost less weight in 4 weeks than I had in 2 weeks, which is pretty sad when you think about it. So the thing that I've been wondering about a lot, I've been making sure to only eat my TDEE, which is total daily energy expenditure. There we go. I have such a hard time remembering that abbreviation. But basically, that's what your metabolism is. What they used to call that metabolism years ago when I was dieting. It's how much your body needs to run, to supply itself. It will use that amount of calories. At least that's what the theory says. And this time around, I've been making sure to eat that. Last month, I was not. I was just eating until I was full and then stopping when I was full and then eating more when I was hungry again. And in the same period of time, doing the opposite things, I lost pretty nearly the same amount of money. I lost pretty nearly the same amount of weight A couple pounds more this time around with the TDEE than last time around without it. So I'm not sure what is the most important thing? You know what I mean? What matters most? Is it the TDEE or is it the lion diet? What is it that makes it work? Is it just eating ground beef? Maybe that's it. I'm thinking at the end of this month that maybe I'm going to run a short test, like a week, where I eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for a week, but make sure to stick to my TDEE and see if I still keep losing weight even with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, or if it does matter that I'm eating, just ground beef and, doing the lion diet. We're going to give that a shot, but that is not for now. We're going to keep going like we're going right now because it is working. It is going great, and I'm managing to stick to it easy. I'm not getting tempted by cheese or any of that kind of stuff. I don't drink bottles of cream or anything, which is another thing that I always am tempted by, and it always ruins my progress. Anything that you can just slug down those calories way too fast. Those are the things that I tend to be drawn to. And so this is working great because I am not drawn to them right now. So I'm going to keep doing that for the next 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. It'll be a little tough. We've got Easter coming up at the end of this week. And I will be out of town for part of the week because my daughter's graduating college. And how is that going to go? Am I gonna be able to stick with it the way I want to? Is it gonna go fine, or is it gonna be a disaster? We shall see. I hope that I can stand up to all the challenges and keep this going. Can you imagine if I lost 15 more pounds, 30 pounds in a month? Can you imagine? That would be crazy. Especially way down where I am already. I'm already down almost as low as I've ever been, really. Like, I'm in the 20s. That is svelte for a guy like me. I'm usually around 300 pounds. So being this skinny and still taking off the weight quick, that means something, man. That's a big deal. Okay. I've talked long enough. Sorry to talk your ear off. It's time to see how Marshall is doing with he's doing Carnivore, and how is that working for him? Let's see.
Hey everybody, it's the middle of the month. It is April 15th, and this is kind of a time where Big and I have decided to take a minute to give a report on how much we've lost or where we're at on that part of our journey, and also just to generally give a state of the way of eating or something like that. So I did weigh myself, and the positive side of it is that I'm continuing to lose weight. The less positive part of it is that I know I can be losing a lot more weight. I only lost 2.4 pounds since I weighed in at the beginning of the month. And I know that sounds like I should be thankful, right? I'm losing weight. This is working for me. But based on how much weight I lost last time I did this and how much weight I was losing after I started this at the beginning of March, it's not very fast. I know I can be losing a lot more weight, and there's definitely things that I have done to slow that progress. Eating the ice cream for 2 days in a row. I mean, I didn't just eat ice cream, but I ate ice cream 2 days in a row. That doesn't help at all. Did I eat a cookie in April? Or was that back in March? I can't remember if it was from the last time I weighed in at the beginning of the month or not. But let's say I did. Let's not give me any credit. I think I did eat a cookie one of those days. And so, no. Anyway, let's say I did. Whatever I'm doing is stopping my progress. And I kind of wanted to see what the difference was between a month of doing BBBE and a month of doing Carnivore. But I don't know if it's going to be a good comparison, because I think I've been a little bit less consistent this time around, this month so far, than I was in March. So maybe if I really kick it in gear, I can see what the difference is between the BBBE and the just straight Carnivore. You know, allowing myself to have the cheese and maybe sour cream, or I don't know, what else does that allow? Just not non-beef stuff, right? You know, the whatever else, what other kind of carnivore animal products I want to eat. I don't know. Maybe that gets me in more trouble because I'm allowed to have more, so that leads me to go even further than what I'm allowed in Carnivore. But I'm going to stick with Carnivore for the rest of the month. But I'm going to stop playing around. You know, when I think about it, it's like, you know, am I playing at eating Carnivore, or am I serious about this? Am I just goofing around, making these videos? I don't know. If I'm not going to be serious about it, what am I doing? And so that's kind of what I take from only losing 2.4 pounds when I think I can lose a lot more. But, you know, but on the positive side, I'm still losing weight, which is better than going the other direction, going back up to where I was. But I don't want to give myself that, I don't want to take it easy and say, oh yeah, as long as you're losing weight, it's fine, which is true, but I know I can be doing much better. So I'm going to strive to do better. I think part of that too is, you know, Big talks a lot about, hey, I went for a walk today, I'm doing exercises. And man, I've wanted to do that because that was a big thing for me. Even before I started doing Carnivore a couple of years ago, my big thing was you have to stay active. You have to make your body move. You have to get out there and not only physically move your body, but just getting out in nature and walking and just getting out of the normal routine of your day. It helps you mentally and spiritually and all those things. It detaches you from just the grind, and it brings in, you know, nature and reality, you know, what the world that we actually live in. Sorry about the honking of the horns. But my foot has really been bothering me, and I think I figured it out. I did get a new pair of shoes with some inserts. You know, I pay a little extra. I go to like is it Fleet Foot? Something like that. And I didn't get you know, they can scan your foot and find the insert that'll help you do better. I didn't have them rescan me. I just used the same old inserts. And I think that was part of the problem. The new shoes with the new inserts just wasn't working for me. So I took out the inserts and it's been better. I haven't had problems with my feet recently. So I think maybe starting next week I can get out there again and take a walk every day. See, like these people behind me taking their dog for a walk. I can be doing that. And I used to do that. That was like my thing, is going out and walking every day. I called it the walk of life. Get out there and walk every single day. And so I need to get back into that. I think mentally that'll help me with this Carnivore challenge. And it just makes me feel better when I do that. Of course, the food is the bigger part of it, but it all kind of fits together. If you're feeling better and you're being active, you're going to be less likely to eat a bunch of crap because you want to feel better and be able to do more. So that's my spiel for this time around. I'm making progress, but I can be making much better, quicker, losing more weight, and just being generally more healthy. So that's where I'm at. And I don't know if that helps you with your journey. I hope people that watch Big's channel are trying to make changes themselves, or trying to see what works and what doesn't, and hopefully I can be a better example to you for that. But most importantly, I need to do this for me and my family and everybody else, and just increase the quality and the quantity of my life. So, all right, everybody, I'll be back here after April's over, and hopefully I'll have even better news and be feeling on top of the world more about my progress and my way of eating. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go. Thanks, Marshall. Way to go. Let's keep it up, and let's charge ahead for the rest of this month and see what we can finish off with. We'll do another one of these when it's all over on May 1st, and we'll tell you how it all turned out. And of course, we'll be back every day with our daily reports here on Big Anklevich on Health.